My name is Omideyi and you're watching Christian Weekly News. Concerns have been raised by the Christian community after scientists in the UK were given the go-ahead to genetically modify human embryos. The Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority has authorised Dr. Cathy Nayakan of the Francis Crick Institute in London to use leftover embryos donated by women in fertility clinics for research into gene editing. Scientists will now be allowed to manipulate or edit DNA in fertilised embryos within the first 7 days of artificial fertilisation. However, they'll not be allowed to implant these embryos into women. It is the first time any country has considered and approved such research. Dr. Nayakan has stated that they would like to understand the genes needed for an embryo to develop successfully into a healthy baby, and that the work is important to understand miscarriages and infertility. But on the other hand, concerns have been raised by Christians and non-Christians alike that the research is the beginning of a slippery slope that leads to the creation of designer or genetically modified babies. The way we grow and develop is decided by our DNA, and so the worry is that scientists will begin to play God by editing and manipulating this. Other arguments against this process are that if it's allowed to progress beyond the research stage, there may be many unforeseen consequences for generations to come that will be impossible or difficult to correct. Supporters of the research point out that this is only research and that it cannot actually be used in the treatment of women without being made law by Parliament. But Andrea Williams, co-founder of Christian Concern, argues that this hasn't stopped the passing of laws before, such as in the case of animal-human hybrids, of which it was once thought would never be made into law. She also argues that this research is out of sync with the rest of the global scientific community, which consider it a step too far, and that scientific efforts ought to be focused on the many and wonderful scientific developments that have been made in gene therapy as opposed to gene editing. No doubt, the arguments will continue on both sides as the research proceeds. My name is Omideyi and you're watching Christian Weekly News.